Some men spend their whole lives thinking they know what women really like, but it's only when they notice the silence from their partner, the distant touch, or the different look during intimacy that doubt begins to surface. And when it shows up, it hits hard, because it strikes directly at self-confidence. There really is a type of penis that draws more attention, but not in the way many imagine. What women actually prefer, what truly sparks desire, and what few dare to say, has much more to do with perception, presence, and care than with any physical standard. Today, you'll understand why so many men feel frustrated trying to change what doesn't need to be changed, while ignoring what truly makes the difference for them. Before we continue, check if you're already subscribed to the channel. Here, we focus on male sexual health, desire, and genuine connection with the one by your side. If you believe that what attracts a woman most is the presence of a confident man, type presence in the comments. If you think intimate care is still an underrated topic, write care. Your interaction strengthens this content and helps other men find the answers they also need. A man once came into my office and said, a bit uncomfortably, "Doctor, I think my problem is the shape. Maybe my penis isn't as attractive as other guys." That statement, unfortunately, is very common. But what he didn't yet know, and what many men take a long time to understand, is that the type of penis that most awakens female desire is not about shape or size. It's about what the entire body communicates when it is truly present. Women, especially more mature ones, notice things that never appear in magazines. Posture, tone of voice, the way a man moves, the way he touches, the way he positions himself in a room. A body that expresses security, respect, and care transforms how every part of it is perceived. I've met men who had no physical dysfunctions, but still struggled to create real intimacy because their attitudes seemed disconnected. They were physically there, but emotionally absent. On the other hand, I've seen patients with aesthetic insecurities who, after developing more body awareness, began receiving completely different responses from their partners. In this context, the penis is simply an extension of male presence. When that presence is strong, the impact goes far beyond any physical standard. One of my patients, a 62-year-old man with a good sense of humor and attention to appearance, told me he started receiving more compliments from his wife after giving special attention to intimate hygiene. With a smile, he said, "I didn't change anything about my body, just the care, and it worked better than any gym." And he was right. The way a man takes care of his hygiene says a lot, and it directly affects how his partner perceives him. It's not just about being clean, it's about showing attention. When a man includes intimate care in his routine, like washing, with neutral soaps, drying thoroughly to avoid moisture, and choosing comfortable clothes, he shows care for his own body. Breathable fabrics, clean underwear changed daily. All of this makes a difference. Body odor is another important point. Natural scent can be pleasant, as long as it's tied to a well-kept body. But accumulated sweat or traces of urine, due to lack of attention, send negative signals. Men who use simple creams to keep the skin soft, trim hair with balance, and avoid extremes also show emotional intelligence. Because in the end, the touch begins before the touch. It begins with the care that can be seen and felt up close. If this topic already sparked something in you, in my digital book, Rediscovering Intimacy, I offer practical guidance on how small changes in behavior, body, and intimate care can reignite your partner's desire and completely change the way she sees you. It's a straightforward resource, designed for men who want to go beyond the basics and build a deeper, more pleasurable, and more genuine connection. You'll find the link in the pinned comment. Take this step and start now. A man once came to me worried because his partner had made a seemingly simple comment. "You need to pay more attention down there." He couldn't stop thinking about it, assuming something was wrong with the shape. But after a calm conversation, we discovered the issue wasn't appearance. It was the overall state of the area. Constant sweating, rough skin, and clothes that were too tight. The pelvic region is very sensitive. It needs to breathe, move freely, and receive specific care. Wearing tight clothes for long periods can raise local temperature and cause discomfort that goes beyond aesthetics. Synthetic underwear traps heat and promotes odors, irritation, and even infections. Also, touch feels completely different when the skin is well cared for. Men who moisturize, dry thoroughly after bathing, and avoid harsh soaps have a much more pleasant skin texture. And that is noticeable in intimacy. Another point many forget is the importance of exercising the pelvic floor muscles. Patients who include simple contraction exercises in that area report improved firmness, sensitivity, and even control. Taking care of the pelvic region means taking care of functionality, confidence, and experience. And for a woman, that makes all the difference. A 68-year-old man once told me something I've never forgotten. "Doctor, I realize that my erection is less about my body and more about how my wife feels with me." And he was right. For many women, especially after 50, a partner's erection is not just a physical reaction. It represents attention, presence, and emotional connection. When a man shows genuine interest, not just in the body, but in how his partner feels, it activates an emotional connection that strengthens desire. And that connection does not depend on age or perfect performance. It depends on listening, on real presence, on putting the phone aside and looking into her eyes. I have seen patients who, even with less frequent erections, managed to restore closeness in their relationship just by changing their attitude. They started listening more, giving compliments without hesitation, and touching with more calmness. And over time, the body responded better. Because when a woman feels seen, the atmosphere changes. The penis stops being a symbol of virility and becomes an extension of affection. And this kind of intimacy, built with sensitivity, tends to last longer, be more pleasurable, and more intense for both. A 61-year-old man came into my office visibly uncomfortable. He said that throughout his life, he always believed size was what mattered most. But after starting a new relationship with a woman in the same age group, she said something that changed everything. "What stayed with me was the way you touched me." He was surprised. That kind of statement is actually very common among mature women. Touch, when done with attention, intention, and care, has more impact than any measurement. The sensitivity of the fingers, the time dedicated to foreplay, the ability to perceive the other person's responses, these all matter more than strength or speed. Most men who develop a more fulfilling intimacy with their partner understand that touch is a form of listening. When done with calm and respect, it communicates safety and genuine desire. I have followed patients who significantly improved their sex life just by changing the way they approached intimate moments. They stopped comparing, relaxed, started using their hands more, their gaze, and their full attention. The result was more connection and less pressure. In the end, what impresses most is what is felt, not what is measured. A 58-year-old patient once told me, laughing, that he started taking dance lessons at his wife's insistence. At first, he thought it was silly, but after a few weeks, he noticed something curious. She started seeking him out, more, with more desire and admiration. He said, "Doctor, it's like she started seeing me differently, just because I learned to move my body with more softness." That story reveals an often unspoken truth. The entire body communicates. The way a man moves, walks, sits, touches, or hugs says a lot about him, even in intimacy. Rigid, rushed, or clumsy movements can signal tension, insecurity, or disconnection. But smooth, firm, and coordinated gestures express confidence and control. Many men, when they start doing mobility or stretching exercises, or simply pay more attention to their own movements, notice changes in how they are perceived. Even the way they breathe matters. A body that breathes calmly and moves fluidly transmits more security. Women notice. They feel when there is harmony, when touch is balanced, and when the partner seems at ease with himself. The penis participates in the relationship, but the tone is set by the whole body, and it communicates all the time, even in silence. Once, a 65-year-old widower started a new relationship and came to talk to me saying, "Doctor, this time I'm not trying to impress. I'm just being myself, and it's working better than before." That sentence perfectly sums up what many women value: a calm man who feels no need to show off. Silent confidence is the kind that doesn't make noise, but still makes an impression. It's in the way a man behaves when he enters the room, in the steadiness of his gaze, the calmness of his touch, and above all, in the absence of hurry. It's not a competition. There's no need to convince anyone with words or exaggeration. Many patients who overcome insecurity and free themselves from the pressure of proving something end up discovering that the real power lies in calmness. They become more pleasant, more open to touch and real connection, and that has a direct effect on female desire. For a woman, this kind of presence communicates maturity, stability, and the pleasure of being with someone who knows who he is. And what's interesting is that when a man stops trying to be more than he is, he ends up becoming exactly what she was looking for: a whole, present, and confident partner. After everything we've discussed, it's clear that female desire is not based on measurements. It's based on sensations. The body is always communicating, and it's the way a man takes care, touches, and carries himself that makes all the difference. Have you ever noticed how a simple change in your posture or your intimate care habits influence the way your partner reacted? Leave a comment and share which attitude made the biggest difference in your experience. If this video helped you see things more clearly, give it a like. That lets the platform know this is valuable content and helps reach more men who also need this guidance. Take a look at the other videos on the channel. There's a lot of straightforward content focused on male health, connection, and intimacy after 50. And if you haven't subscribed yet, do it now so you don't miss upcoming topics. See you in the next video.